Well, at least tonight I didn't do like my opening monologue for 5 minutes and have it muted. It's John here, you there. Let me fix the hair. Goodness gracious alive. It is just not behaving, not behaving at all. Morning, D. Graham, or evening, whatever time of day it is. It's me and you tonight. Jarrett still feels like crap, and Jason is out conquering the world, and he will let us know when he has a chance to breathe, and he'll come in and visit everybody. Obviously, hour number 2 is picks of the week, and I won, so that's all that matters. And we'll go through all the picks from last week. And apparently, according to our according to the Discord, it was one of the closest. This was almost like Kevin Harvick and the race at Atlanta Motor Speedway, from what I understand. It was a 2 point difference in the Discord for determining picks of the week, and I got that notice earlier this evening. So we will workshop picks of the week, and we will have some fun with that. But we've got news out of Argentina that has happened over the last little bit, and we will let you know what's going on there too. So it is interesting. Okay, so all right, so let me do this here. Hang on. All right, so hit this, and then post this. Okay, so that's what. All right, so now I have to properly promote the fact that soccer over there is live. Um, let's see. So let's see if we're promoting. Let's see. So news out of see, and this is the downside to this because. Okay, so CONCACAF and shenanigans. See, I'm gonna have to do this now every morning, and this is going to be kind of painful. Um, the way that this is going currently, apparently, the 280 character app is not behaving on the way that it's supposed to. And usually, what we can do is we can send uh, all of the uh, all of the notifications to one place when it comes to, hey, we're live here and we're live here and we're live here. And apparently, that is not the case currently because it's being moody and you have to kind of do things a little differently. Uh, have the buffoon, let's say buffoonery this week. Let's do buffoonery. There we go. All right. So there we go. All right. So yeah. So I have to now type out each and every time where things are. So that's the element involved with all of that. No, I don't care about edits and things. Come on, people. All right. So yeah, literally the misbehaving 280 character app is forcing me to do things kind of in a weird way. So I have to do that live, but because I can't do it because when you're not live, you can't do it, and then when you're live, you got to take the time to tell it to do it and go to other places. So that's the rundown there. Okay, tonight we got stuff in Argentina. We got to talk about the Prem. U20 is happening in CONCACAF. We'll have picks of the week in hour number 2. So that's the rundown as we have it, and then we'll navigate all this in the morning. Okay. Uh, Tomorrow morning on SOT, Kaylor Hodges from the USL show is going to join us. We're going to talk about everything USL Championship. They're a couple of weeks away from the start of their season. And then a little bit on Tormenta. Gabe Schrei scheduled to join us as well. And he's going to talk about everything in USL League One. He calls a lot of the action USL League One and USL Championship on ESPN Plus and your favorite cable providers. So it's a chance to keep an eye out for everything that is going on with USL League One and Tormenta. And we talked about that leading into a little bit this morning. The announcement came out this afternoon about Tormenta on hiatus for the 26th season. And then from there, they're keeping first team technical staff in place for the 26th season, which to me means that they're planning on coming back in 27. So we'll talk about that tomorrow with Gabe Schrei, with us. And we talked about it a little bit with Kaylor Hodges from the USL show. He's going to be on tomorrow as well on the morning show. And we'll talk about everything Major League Soccer, the rest of the league. Casey White's going to join us at 10 to talk about specifically Chicago and Houston and Guilherme, and we'll go over the 11 for the week. So we'll get into all of that. So, all right, this happened. We'll start here. This happened before we came on the air, and this was about 10 till 7. Marcelo Gallardo is done at River, and that is going to take place not immediately. And he had a 2-minute message from the training from the training camp at River, and announced that Thursday is going to be his last match. And it was a 2-minute message on social media, and the run for Marcelo Gallardo did not go well at all. And he loses to Velez on the weekend, and he announced his departure after that's going to happen after Thursday's match at the Monumental against Bonfield. And so this was released simultaneously on all of the social medias of River. And this was, once again, early evening hours today. One Take Charlie posted to all the socials. So, quote, "This is a message for all River Plate fans. I'll try to be brief so I don't get overwhelmed by the emotion and pain of announcing that Thursday will be my last match. I only have words of gratitude, mainly to this enormous club, to its people, for their unconditional love throughout all the years, even in the most difficult moments like this one, in which things clearly didn't go as planned. I'm overcome with emotion and deep sorrow for not being able to achieve our goals. I simply want to express my gratitude to those who truly believed in me and my entire coaching staff to represent this enormous institution with all that it entails, and I have nothing but words of thanks for everyone. I simply reciprocate the love of all the fans, and I sincerely hope that this institution, which has grown enormously in recent years and is a model throughout the region, will soon achieve good results on the pitch to further enhance what River means as an institution worldwide. Thank you very much, and I send you all a big hug." And he touched his heart, and then he exited stage left from the camera. So Marcelo Gallardo out at River. It's going to be on his last match is Thursday, and so that is that is big news. And obviously, we'll get to catch up with our buddy Nino Torres about this on Thursday as well. And so Gallardo is out. The board has already had an initial contact with Christian Bragarnik, the coach's representative, to El Chaco Coudet. So the current coach at Alaves is under contract till the end of June. So Coudet at Alaves right now is the number one contender for the picking up the gig at River. And so that's what you're staring at right now. So one of the Gigantes, El Muñeco, departing from River after the match against Bonfield. And so that was the big news that happened just before we came on tonight, that he's done. And it has not gone over well. It has not gone well for Marcelo Gallardo. Right now, looking at the juice boxes in this. So let's take a peek at where things stand at the moment. In the Liga Profesional, you look at the standings, and we all know how Argentina is off to the side when it comes to having their own fun. The loss to Velez on the weekend put River in 10th in their half, their group. They're in Group B, 2 groups, 15 in each group. And the loss, the third in a row for River, 1 win in their last 5, 4 points in their last 5. They've lost 3 in a row. 10th place behind Racing and Bonfield, 7 points in goal difference. And so the Monumental, Bonfield goes to River Plate Thursday, and that's probably going to be in picks of the week. So I would bank on that right now. So picks of the week, it's going to be one of them is going to be Bonfield and River Plate. I can guarantee you that right now. So we will have that one as a part of the discussion going in a little bit. But Gajardo out, Coudet at Alaves, currently the number one contender to take over, but it has just not been good for Gajardo at River. And there have been shock losses, and I'm trying to find the win-loss record for Gajardo at his time at River Plate. So spot me a second here. So Al Ittihad confirmed that Gajardo was going to leave in June of 24, and so that's where we are with Gajardo. So the manager profile, we're going to check on our friends at Transfermarkt. The 50-year-old from Merlo, Argentina, and stats. We need the managerial stats is what we need. Manager career. There we go. So manager career. I don't need the actual. We need like the actual. We don't need the. So 85 matches for Gajardo at River. And his record 37, 27, and 21. 37, 27, and 21. 85 matches at River, averaging 1.62 points per match. And of the 4 gigs that he has had, this is the third points per game average of the 4. 1.95 at Nacional, 1.88 his first time at River, second time at River, 1.62, and then Al Ittihad in Saudi Arabia, 1.48. At River Plate the first time, it was from 14 to 22. It's what, 8.5 years. 232, 101, and 92. 425 matches. He lasted 20% of that this time around, going 37, 27, and 21. Points per match, 1.62. And unacceptable by a lot of standards. And so Gajardo out at River. And so we'll keep an eye on that. Thursday, the last one with Bonfield. So definitely crazy. And it is just, looking at our friends at Teise, and you can get that at Fanatis, fntz.co/soccer down here. You can get that as a part of the package. That link, by the way, is important. It helps them, it helps us, and it helps you by adding more matches to everything you're already watching. Fanatis, you get BN, you get all the BNs. So you get AFCON, you get the Turkish League, the French League, the Polish League, you get the CAF, you get AFCON Champions League, which was also part of Picks of the Week. You got that to look into as well. You get Tigo Sports carryover. You get what's the other one? Hang on. It's you get the Copa Argentina. You get what is CATV. That's the other one. So there's a little bit of carryover with that. A lot of the leagues from South America. You can watch the Liga Profesional. You can watch the last match. If you get Fanatis by Thursday, you can watch the LPF finale of Marcelo Gajardo from River round 2. fntz.co/soccer down here. You could tell that it wore on him. And so now Thursday, one subscription, one home. You can watch Gajardo's finale for round 2 at River on Fanatis. And they're talking about it. No shock. They're talking about it right now on the La Noche program on Teise. And I'm watching that on Fanatis. So there you go. All right. So let's get into the other stuff that is going on. We got the CONCACAF U20s. We've got to get into what happened in England today. And the screams that you heard were Drew Dickinson. So we'll get into what happened in England. And once again, top of the hour, we'll get into picks of the week. Remember, one of them is going to be from the Monumental with River and Bonfield coming up on Thursday. So England today, it was Monday Night Football. and it was a moment later than late, and you had your favorite super sub attached to it, and it was once again a win for Manchester United, 1-0 over Everton. They were favored at Bramall Dock, and so it was 1-0 at a plus 104. So to carry that through the rest of the weekend, and there's a story that I want to get into a bit here about Spurs and what happens if they get relegated. And it could get really nasty financially. So Arsenal beat Spurs, and Igor Tudor obviously not happy. They've got to get. He said in the post match, I'm paraphrasing it, they've got to get rid of their bad habits, and they really don't have any room. That there's very little room for them to navigate. And we'll show you. It will tell you how much room is that little in a bit. So Arsenal wins 4-1. They beat Spurs. You had the other three matches yesterday. Palace won against Wolves, which is what you should do. And Oliver Glasner, they're still debating whether or not to dispose of Oliver Glasner before the end of the season. Liverpool 1-0 over Nottingham Forest. Gutsy effort by Forest. Came up with nothing. Fulham beat Sunderland 3-1 as Sunderland continues to regress. Then the day before, Manchester City beat Newcastle 2-1. Goalless draw, West Ham and Bournemouth. Villa and Leeds, a 1-1 draw. Brighton over Brentford, 2-0. Brighton was a road dog at a plus 215. Chelsea and Burnley, a 1-1 draw there. Big point for Burnley in the grand scheme of things to know that they can do that kind of stuff on the road against the Chelsea team. Plus 600, by the way. So it was a 1-1 draw for Scotty Too Hottie and for Burnley. So, Gallardo se va quien pica en punto como sucesor. So, they have the discussion's going sideways right now about Gallardo and who would be a successor. More evening, OG. So your standings after match week 28 for Arsenal, it's match week 29 and Wolves. So after 27, except for Wolves and Arsenal, who are at 28. So here's your rundown. 5-point difference. Arsenal and Manchester City. Another 5-point difference because Villa is stumbling right now. They're at 51 points. Manchester United's 1-4 of 5. They're unbeaten in 5. And Michael Carrick, I think the more the more that you're getting these kinds of results, the more he's fafoing his way into the gig. Chelsea is 5th on goal difference over Liverpool. Then you have Brentford, who is 5 points behind them in 7th at 40. Bournemouth at 38. Everton at 37. They've lost 2 in a row. Fulham snapped a 3-game losing streak. They're at 37, behind Everton on goal difference. 11th is Newcastle, who have lost 4 of 5 in league. Sunderland has lost 4 of 5, 3 in a row in league. They're at 36, behind Newcastle on goal difference. This is kind of what I thought was going to be happening to Sunderland over time. You go through the league the first time, they don't have book on you. And now everybody in the second half of the season, they're kind of figuring Sunderland out. Crystal Palace, they've won 2 of 3. They're at 35 points in 13th. Brighton's, they've snapped a 4-game winless streak with a win last time out with the upset on the weekend. They're at 34 points. Leeds at 31. They've drawn 2 in a row. Spurs have now lost 3 in a row, 29 points, 4 points from safety. That's where we are right now with Spurs. 4 points from safety. Forest at 27 points. Some strange reason, I don't think they're going to go down. West Ham's at 25. They're about to climb their way out. They're unbeaten in 3, and they are unbeaten in 4 of 5. Burnley is now up to 19 points, 4 points in their last 2. And Wolves is back to their losing ways, 2 points in 5 matches. They're at 10 points. So you're going to get folks, because of FA Cup competitions and such, you're going to have folks playing on Friday Night Football. Villa starts with Wolves, and then you have 5 on Saturday, 4 on Sunday, and nothing Monday night. But then you circle back, and you have matches in the midweek in March to kick things off pretty quickly there. So you've got that to look into. So that's your story in England. Since we're in England, let's go to Europe and break down everything in Champions League. So tomorrow, once again, we continue its second legs tomorrow and Wednesday. So tomorrow and Wednesday, Champions League second legs. Atletico de Madrid and Club Brugge. 3-3 crazy the first time out at Bruges. Atletico de Madrid is favored at a minus 238. This is just to advance in the match, to have a better result in the match. Bayer Leverkusen, and that's the early one, by the way. Atletico de Madrid's at 12:45. 3 o'clock, you got three more. Bayer Leverkusen and Olympiacos. Bayer Leverkusen on the road got a 2-0 result. Favored at home at a minus 120 to win the leg. They've got some work to Olympiacos has work to do if they're going to try to be competitive in the leg. Inter and Bodo Glimt. Inter has, you want to talk work to do? 3-1 Bodo Glimt, north of the Arctic Circle, first time out. Bodo Glimt goes to Inter with a 2-goal advantage. And Bodo Glimt is a plus 900 tomorrow to win the match. I don't think they care. Take the draw at a plus 650. Inter is a minus 385 to win the second leg. Bodo Glimt, I think they could probably sit there and pick their chances and maybe have a kickabout for 90 minutes. Then the fourth matchup tomorrow, Newcastle putting 6 on Karabag in Azerbaijan. Now they're at 5 up. I would anticipate an entirely rotated side for Eddie Howe for this second leg in Champions League. So that's what you're staring at. Newcastle up by 5, second leg they're hosting. Bodo Glimt up by 2 on the road. Bayer Leverkusen up 2 at home. Atletico de Madrid and Club Brugge even Steven, and they're the early tomorrow. Wednesday, 4 more. Atalanta and Dortmund. Atalanta at home down 2 to win that leg. They're a plus 112. Dortmund's a plus 240. The other 3 at 3 o'clock. Juve down 3 to Galatasaray in a game that went completely sideways last time out. Juve at a minus 200 to win the leg. Galatasaray at a plus 480. Could Mauro Icardi make it to the final 8 in Champions League? Looking that way. Juve down 3 goals at home on Wednesday at 3 o'clock. Also Wednesday at 3, PSG up a goal. PSG's been kind of stumbling of late. Up a goal against Monaco to win the leg, a minus 333. Monaco's a plus 819. Monaco's got some work to do. Real Madrid and Benfica. First leg result, Real Madrid got the 1-0 win on the goal by Vinicius Jr. Prestiani has been provisionally suspended for a match by UEFA, pending the result of the investigation. Now, our friend Nino Torres last week presented some evidence, and like I said, we have, and what I told Nino last week, we don't know what we don't know. So UEFA is investigating, and Nino, as a part of this process, sent me part of what he was trying to discuss last week, where apparently, and this is one of the paper, I think this was Diario Ole. Diario Ole had enlisted a lip reader to an exchange between Vinicius Jr. and Prestiani. And I'm just going to say this, that the Vinicius outward conversation was very, very colorful. A lot of colorful metaphors were attached, and it was not a pleasant conversation to even read, much less see. That's what Nino was trying to present into evidence last week, in addition to everything that we got to see in the first go-round. So it still may be up at Diario Ole, so keep an eye on that and look at that going forward as part of your gathering of information. But right now, Prestiani has been provisionally suspended pending the result of the investigation for the one match here in the midweek. But Real Madrid up 1 at home at the Bernabeu, hosting Benfica. Benfica's a plus 520. Real Madrid is a minus 200. So that's what you're staring at when it comes to the Champions League and the activity that is tied in there. Then you end up with, later this week on Thursday, you have second legs in Europa League. Red Star to plus 170 at home with a 1-goal advantage on Lille. Lille's a favorite on the road at a plus 160. Ferencvaros and Ludogorets. Ferencvaros down a goal, but they're at home. They are favored to win the second leg. Ludogorets is a plus 450. Ferencvaros a minus 156. Victoria Pilsen at home. Even Stevens with Panathinaikos. Pilsen a plus 110. Panathinaikos a plus 290. Stuttgart and Celtic. Stuttgart up 3. They're at home. Minus 233 to win the leg. Celtic a plus 560. The other 3 matches on Thursday are at 3 o'clock. Bologna favored up a goal, hosting Brann, Brann, not like muscle tone. Celta de Vigo is 1 up at home against PAOK at a minus 125. Genk and Dinamo Zagreb. Genk up 2 at home. They are favored on the plus side of the plus 119. Dinamo Zagreb a plus 240. And Forest up 3 hosting Fenerbahce. I would expect a rotated side or at least changes at the 45th minute, maybe the 60th for Nottingham Forest as they've got a 3-goal lead on Fenerbahce at a minus 172. Fenerbahce to win the leg is a plus 475. So that is your round of 16 that's going to be decided on Thursday in the Europa League. And also on Thursday in Conference League, their round of 16. 4 at 12:45, 4 at 3 o'clock on Thursday. Celje up 1 hosting Drita. They are favored at a minus 345. Fiorentina up 3 on Jagiellonia Bialystok out of the Polish League. Fiorentina favored at home at a minus 196. Rijeka up a goal hosting Omonia Cyprus at a plus 112. Omonia is a plus 254. Samsunspor up a goal hosting Shkengia. Big favorite at home at a minus 303. 3 o'clock's AZ Alkmaar is down a goal, but they are favored heavily at home at a minus 312. Noah to win the leg on the road is a plus 1,000. Crystal Palace at home, even after the first leg hosting Zrinjski, they're a massive favorite at home. Zrinjski's a plus 2,100 to win on the road. Lausanne and Sigma Olomouc, even after the first leg, Lausanne favored at a plus 110. Lech Poznan hosting KUPS, up 2 goals. They were a big favorite. KUPS to win the leg is a plus 1,200. So that's your Europa League, Conference League. You'll get into the round of 8 decided after Thursday in Conference League and Europa League. And you're going to get into the round of 8 with Champions League after Wednesday, and then you'll have your bracket. You can follow along and figure out who's doing what and where. Okay. All right. Now, also on the board, it is CONCACAF U20s, and this is we were trying to do some research on what it was looking like for the U20s. And the U20s, it's going to be a lot of this is group stage and everything. And we'll get into CONCACAF Champions Cup in a bit, because that we've also got to keep an eye on. So U20s, and there are no juice boxes attached to this. But in our research of the whole thing involving the U20 tournament, this is not a tournament that is tied to any kind of activity with the United States. So the U20 qualifiers are underway as of this afternoon. And so round 1, it's round robin, 32 members. You've got 6 groups, and you're either in Nicaragua, Curacao, or Costa Rica. And you can follow along on, that reminds me, on FS2. Let me see. Do we have anything on FS2 right now? I was trying to, let's see, 7-6 as I work the cable. Yeah, Jamaica and Bonaire actually is wrapping up. And that is on the U20s on FS2 for those of you that are true sickos like those of us here and waiting for a score to pop up. We might have answers. Jamaica's leading 3-0 and about 17 minutes to go. So Jamaica's up 3-0 in their group. Your qualifiers groups, and this is how it was broken down. 32 national teams and 6 national teams preceded the championship. The U.S. Mexico, Honduras, Panama, Cuba, Guatemala. Qualifier groups were drawn, and you have the 6 groups that are participating as the 32, and the winners of those get to advance. Here's your qualification pathway. First stage of the region's U20 competition pathway, the 6 group winners advance to the championship. So you will have 12 teams after this. The 6 that are preceded, US being number 1, and then it's the region's final round of qualifying for the U20 World Cup in 27 and the Summer Olympics in 28. So qualifier groups, you've got El Salvador in group number 1. You've got Jamaica and Puerto Rico in group B. Dominican Republic is group C, and this is who I think is probably going to advance out of these groups. Haiti, Curacao, group D. Costa Rica, Trinidad and Tobago to go with possibly Bermuda. And like I said, right now, Jamaica and Bonaire. Jamaica's got a 3-goal lead with, they're in the 75th minute, so 15 to go. And then Group F has Canada, Nicaragua as your 2 heavyweights. Daily from the 23rd to March 4th. And the 12-team championship is scheduled for this summer, late July to early August. So round robin, then you go top 2 in each group, 2 best third place, knockout stage, quarterfinal, semifinal, final. So U20 qualifiers is what we have going on right now. Earlier today, in day number 1, as we are looking at all of our groups. So one match has already finished. Grenada over St. Martin 2-1, and that one was in Nicaragua. Going on right now, obviously, it is Suriname, Belize, El Salvador, and French Guiana, if I'm remembering my abbreviations correctly. Oh, the connection was reset. Very good. As I'm trying to sit here, I just want my matches. That's all I want. I just want my matches run down. I'm not asking for much. Then that is your 3 matches for today. You got a day off, and then you end up with 3 matches on Wednesday, and then you end up with 3 matches on Friday. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then that gets you to March 1st. So every other day you're getting group stuff out of Group A. So all matches today, it was British Virgin Islands and Dominica draw at 2. It was the Cayman Islands and who's TCA? I lose, man. I lose all with all of these abbreviations. Then we had Puerto Rico over St. Kitts and Nevis was earlier today, and so you have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 matches today. You'll have another 8 tomorrow. So it's all over it's well, not 8. You'll have 6 tomorrow, and then it kicks back in. So there's a lot going on. You're going to have matches coming up through 9 o'clock starts, and we'll let you know what's going on here. A couple of notes to keep an eye on if you're going to be true sicko about this. Oh, Controlled Pete 6, Calais 2P. Nothing like getting a bot in the middle of a schedules rundown. Okay, so Controlled Pete, P-E-A-T. So if you see Controlled Pete 6, that's a bot. So bot, I kind of suspected of being a bot. All right, so tell you more. Was it love at first sight? All right, so viewer solicitation bot. Submit report. There we go. Close. All right. So Streamboo. I don't even know where Streamboo is. Anyway. All right. So a lot of matches with the U20 qualifiers, 8 matches kicking off to get things rolling. And we'll keep an eye on that. But just for your information purposes only, couple of players to keep an eye on that have local ties to the SDH studio footprint. Isaiah Vicente is on the Puerto Rico roster for the U20s, and we are efforting an interview with him. And so Puerto Rico, where is Puerto Rico based? Curacao. So it would be a Curaçaoan restream. Well, that's going to be interesting. Remember how it was with James Donaldson with St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Might be that much just as intriguing. Xander Grant from SSA is with the U.S. Virgin Island U20s, and LaShawn Morris from Kalanji is with the Trinidad and Tobago U20s. So just for local interest's sake, if you want to keep an eye out for local players and things like that, like I said, we're efforting the interview with Isaiah Vicente, and we'll try and figure out when we can do that, probably on an off day somewhere, and we'll get that all squared away. So between now and the 4th, so it's like 2 weeks, and trying to figure out if you can win your group so you can advance and be one of the groups that one of the 6 that goes with the 6 pre-seeds, and that's going to be later on in the summer in July and early August, and that'll get you through to U20s. Now, CONCACAF Champions Cup, the Triple C, that is going to continue on, and that is going to be later this week, and it is going to be tomorrow. You're going to have 2 tomorrow. You're going to have 3 on Wednesday, and you're going to have 1 to follow up on Thursday. And so tomorrow, Nashville's hosting Atletico Ottawa, and LAFC is hosting Real España, the early and the late. 8 o'clock, Nashville and Atletico Ottawa at Geodis. I will be intrigued to see what the crowd is. Nashville took care of business in the first leg. They won 2-0. So they have a 2-goal advantage. They're minus 588 at home to win the leg and probably should advance. Atletico Ottawa to win the matchup, which reminds me we need to catch up with Johnny Villalba, is a plus 1,400. Then you have the nightcap, LAFC and Real España. Remember last week when I was talking about Real España and I was sitting there thinking, it might be tough. No, it wasn't. Out of Real España, no, didn't happen. 6-1, not that close. LAFC put the hammer down early, got the win. They're up 5 in the second leg at home at BMO at a minus 769. Real España to win the leg is a plus 1,500. FC Cincinnati, another team that took care of business from a Major League Soccer perspective. They are up 4 heading into the second leg at TQL on Wednesday. O&M FC is a plus 2,500 to win the leg. They're down 4 goals. FC Cincinnati to win is a minus 1,250. Keep an eye on the middle. 9:30, Whitecaps and Cartaginés. Whitecaps survived at Cartaginés. Cartaginés to win the leg is a plus 1,100. I don't think they're used to the turf surface. Whitecaps a minus 385. Your draw is a plus 500. The leg specifically. And once again, goalless draw, Vancouver and Cartaginés last time out. Vancouver was hitting posts all over the place, just wide. Defense was under fire. Couldn't get anything in the back of the net. But you're back home at BC Place on Wednesday, and you are a minus 385 to win the leg and then advance. The late game, and this one is a late game. Galaxy and SSM, San Miguelito, tied at 1 after the first leg. LAG, though, in Carson, minus 476. Miguelito is a plus 1,600. Your draw is a plus 550. Now, the last match, Philadelphia Union and Defense Force. If Defense Force could maybe get their pound of flesh, proverbially. Philadelphia put 5 on them in the first leg on the road. They go back to Philly, and they get to kind of rest up. They were minus 769 on Thursday night. Defense Force is a plus 2,000. So most of these look like they're in good hands from the favorites, most in the MLS squad, MLS sides. Nashville, LAFC, FC Cincinnati, Philadelphia. Those pretty much should be done and dusted. Keep an eye on the Whitecaps and Cartaginés. Keep an eye on the Galaxy and San Miguelito. Your last 2 matchups, middle of the week on Wednesday night. Obviously, we'll get into it a little more as we go on the morning show this week, but that's your CONCACAF Triple C, and then we can look at the brackets and everything. If LAG gets through this, I think if I remember correctly, their bracket's very friendly. So they have a very, very friendly bracket if they can continue to go through. Toluca and San Diego FC is in the next round. If LAG wins this one with San Miguelito, they get Mount Pleasant. See what I mean? Cruz Azul and Monterrey. And then you have Alajuelense who had been preceded, they get LAFC. Messi and friends get Nashville, probably. Club America, after beating Olimpia, probably going to get the Philadelphia Union. Tigres, after taking care of Forge, is probably going to get FC Cincinnati. Seattle advanced, and they're going to get the winner of Vancouver and Cartagenes. Seattle, no Jordan Morris, no Hassani Dotson. We'll talk about that Thursday with Nico Moreno. So going forward, they're keeping an eye on Vancouver and Cartagenes, but injuries to Jordan Morris, who didn't last 10 minutes. Concussion sub Hassani Dotson in the 41st. Stuff to keep an eye on going into this weekend. Hopefully we'll know more from the Providence and Swedish 5-minute oil change and delicatessen on Thursday by the time Nico joins us. So we might have some answers as to how Seattle's laid out. And are they going to have to chase after some folks? Because the Jordan Morris injury did not look good. So you look at the Jordan Morris injury and Hassani Dotson taken out as a concussion sub. We know that each one of those is different, and they respond differently, and they act differently. Morning 4 card. Glad you're here. So concussions acting differently. We'll have more information on Seattle Thursday, but Seattle's waiting for the winner of Vancouver and Cartagena, so we'll keep an eye on that one too. So that is your rundown of CONCACAF, your rundown of everything in England. Well, not everything in England, just the first division. And then you also have all of our stuff, the breaking news basically out of River Plate that Marcelo Gallardo is done as of Thursday. Last match is Thursday for him in his second tour at River Plate. That did not go well by, I'm sure, his standards or any. Obviously, the fan standards didn't go well. His own standards didn't go well. So we'll see what happens going forward at River. River's looking at the Alaves for the newest appointment. So, it is in dire blanking straits. Dire straits at River. They are not meeting their own self-expectation. And so they're 10th after losing to Vélez. And that to me is just crazy. And that's in the group stage right now after 7 matches. Taking the tour in Europe just to kind of let you know what is going on, what you might have missed, and then getting into Copa Libertadores as well. Copa Libertadores is tomorrow. More qualifications. If you haven't had the chance, listen to the Soccer Metrics Copa Libertadores show if you are so inclined to find out about what happened last week and what's happening this week. Just to give you ideas, once again, this is qualification time. Second legs to move on to the next round. So just to give you scores and numbers attached to this matchup, tomorrow, Carabobo is a dog. They have a goal advantage. They're going to Chile. Chilean team Huachipato massively favored by comparison at a -149, but they need to make up a goal. And Independiente Medellin and Liverpool out of Uruguay. Independiente Medellin has a goal advantage. They're favored at home, -233. Sporting Cristal, where you can take a peek at some old friends in the Peruvian League. Sporting Cristal tied at 2. Lisa Brom sightings can be had at Sporting Cristal. Even Steven after the first leg, but Segunda de Mayo out of Paraguay is a +520. Sporting Cristal is favored at a -200. Then on Wednesday, middle of the week, Bahia down a goal, massively favored at home against O'Higgins, which sounds like it's kind of like Beef O'Brady's. It's O'Higgins. It's the corner pub. But Bahia down a goal, hosting O'Higgins in Brazil, big favorite at -345. Argentinos Juniors, massive favorite against Barcelona of Ecuador. They're up a goal in that one, too, at a -182. And here's one to keep an eye on. Botafogo down a goal. They lost at Nacional Potosi last time out 1-0. To win this leg, Botafogo is a -1667, so they've got to make up a goal and keep going. Nacional is a plus 2,900. Then on Thursday, Guarani favored at home to win the leg. They are goalless between Guarani and Juventud. Deportes Tolima is favored. They're up a goal against Deportivo Táchira out of Venezuela. And that one is the last one on Thursday. Speaking of Argentina, I know we kind of gotten into River Plate a little bit, but this is because of what we were discussing before involving the what's going on with Chiquitapia and a lot of other folks attached to the parent organization. TIC, get this. TIC has said that the league is going to not play on the weekend of March 7 and 8. They're not playing. They're done because they're seeing what is going on with the league and the alleged corruption that is being discussed. And they're like, "Nah, we ain't playing." Argentine football is stopping on the weekend of March the 8th. Club directors have taken the decision to halt all AFA categories across the country and issued a statement explaining the reasons for not playing. So let me see if I could spell Argentina not playing LPF. So here's what and this has absolutely nothing to do with what I want. So if I go LPF, so AFA, so if I go AFA boycott, let's go there because like I said, I want to get this right, and we'll walk through it together. So no, that ain't it either. There's all these boycotts from LPF boycott. How about that? If we go LPF boycott, no. Talking about Albania, no. Not what we're looking for, no. So let me see if I can find the right words. Argentine football, March 8th. So if I do that, so let's see, Argentine, if I could spell Argentine. So I could spell Argentine football, March 8th. Okay, so here's, according to the 4-letter through the Associated Press, professional clubs in Argentina, I don't get ESPN Unlimited. That's not even working for me right now. Professional clubs in Argentina have agreed to strike from March 5th through the 8th and protest against what they consider judicial persecution of Chiquitapia, the current president of the Argentine Football Association. Strike announcement came earlier today after a judge summoned Tapia to testify March the 5th in a case where he's accused of misappropriating Social Security contributions. Investigation stems, and we've talked about this before, investigation stems from a complaint filed by the government's Customs, Revenue, and Control Agency. That sounds like two agencies together that you don't want to get mad in Argentina. Tapia's the Professional League's executive committee resolved by unanimous decision to suspend all first division matches and all other league games March 5 through 8 in protest against the complaint filed by ARCA. Last Friday, Judge Diego Amarante issued a travel ban against Tapia and summoned 4 other officials to appear for questioning in early March as a part of an investigation into the non-payment of Social Security's contributions totaling 19 billion pesos, or $13 million in 24 and 25. 2 other officials summoned to testify in the same case, AFA Treasurer Pablo Tovigino, General Secretary Christian Malaspina, General Director Gustavo Lorenzo, and former Racing Club President Victor Blanco, who held a position at the organization during the period under investigation. According to the tax authorities' complaint, the AFA allegedly failed to deposit the withheld amounts within 30 calendar days of the due date, which led to the issuance and notification of the corresponding debt notices by the tax collection agency. AFA denied the debt, stated in a press release today that the voluntary payment of the tax obligations was made prior to their due date, end quote. Shortly before the announcement of the strike, Judge Amarante authorized Tapia to travel to Colombia and Brazil in late February to attend official activities. Invited by the Colombian Football Federation to participate in an official event in Barranquilla tomorrow, scheduled to attend a CONMEBOL Council meeting, of which he is the second vice president, Thursday in Rio de Janeiro. So because of, I guess, basically judicial overreach, as thought by the AFA, the Argentine Football Association, they're backing the association president, Chiqui Tapia, and we're not playing. So the date that he's got to go to court, we ain't playing. So you have a ban, a self-imposed ban by Argentine football about not doing nothing. That they ain't playing. They're not doing it. So that's what you're looking at with Chiqui Tapia and Argentina and the AFA and the LPF. So I think it's also in Division 2. So the first division and the second division, nothing is going to be played on the weekend of March the 5th. So that's what you're looking at with Argentina, because that news came across and you're like, whoa. So the tax probe leads to suspended matches. So that you got to keep an eye on that too. Antoine Griezmann, and this probably is going to be carried over into tomorrow. Word has trickled out a couple of different places that it appears that Antoine Griezmann is being courted by Orlando City. A couple of different folks are saying the latest. And one of them is Tommy Scoops. There are a couple of folks that have advanced this. Mario Cortagana, Tommy Scoops, both sides of the Atlantic. So Purple Team is in talks to sign Griezmann from Atletico de Madrid. Orlando has an open DP spot, and Griezmann is a top option that they are chasing, according to Tommy Scoops. Multiple sources, according to the triple byline at the Athletic, Tenorio Cortagana Bogart, TCB. 34-year-old is the club's focus. No agreements in place yet. Orlando City is also engaged with other targets. Orlando City sporting director and GM Ricardo Morera has been in Spain multiple times to work on the deal. Griezmann has long been linked with a move to MLS. Shouted out Derek Rose on US TV after winning the 18 World Cup. Was a target for Messi and friends. They can't sign. Well, they could sign him. Right now they can't, but it's probably more cap. According to a TCB at the Athletic, yes, Messi and friends has 3 DPs and couldn't sign him. Orlando is one of 4 MLS clubs to have expressed interest in signing him, but they also hold his discovery rights, so they have dibs. The horrendous thing that is dibs in Major League Soccer, instead of turning it into an open debate and sliding envelopes under doors in hotel rooms. Would you like to play in Orlando? Check yes or no. You're passing notes in class. And so Griezmann is being courted, and Major League Soccer teams have until March 26 to figure it out. And especially if you get Griezmann to move in the middle of the year. You get him to move by the end of the window. Good piece of business for you. So we'll see. But TCB at the Athletic is saying that they still may want, they meaning Atletico de Madrid, may still want Griezmann through the Copa del Rey. So he wouldn't leave before the summer transfer window. No formal talks yet with Griezmann, etc. 6 goals in La Liga this year, 8 plus 7 last year for Atletico de Madrid. Right now they're 4th in the table. Semifinals of the Copa del Rey after beating Barcelona in the first leg. Return leg in Barcelona March 3rd. and the final would be on the 18th of April. So that's what you're staring at with that idea. Now, and now as yes, and when Nino Damas was right, episode 578, Gajardo stepped down tonight. That's my lead. So I'm having conversations in all caps tonight. So that was the lead on soccer over there. Gajardo stepping down. So you're looking at all of those things right now with Major League Soccer. Antoine Griezmann to Orlando. That's what I was going to look up. So hang on just a second. So looking up, we'll get into picks of the week here in a minute. Okay, so Soccer America, and then we'll get into the FIFA series. We'll get into that. So MLS is back. Okay, so what's my talking point? MLS guide. Okay, so we need to go to Orlando and see what the purple team has on the board. So that's DC. We still got a ways to go. That's New England. And that's Red Bulls. Okay, so here we go. So they do have a DP spot open. Remember that Orlando City booked the 3 U22s from Brazil. Martino Ojeda, Marco Pasalic are your 2 DPs currently. You've got about $3.5 million in GAM as of 3 days ago. This season for you, if you are an Orlando fan, you've brought in Thiago, you brought in Luis Otavio, and you brought in Iago. So Thiago and Iago Teodoro, the defender from Flamengo. All 3 U22s. Thiago, the forward from Bahia, Luis Otavio, the mid from Internacional, and Iago Teodoro from Flamengo on a transfer. You've also brought in Brian Ojeda, Maxime Crépeau. You signed your 2 super draft picks. You brought in Griffin Dorsey. Ben Olsen was pissed about that. And Justin Ellis is also signed as a homegrown from OCB. So that's what you're staring at with Orlando City. And they would be chasing after Griezmann in a massive season that was a massive offseason for them. So we'll see. We'll see if Orlando, since they have dibs, since Orlando has dibs, we'll see what happens there, the FIFA Group Series. So, all right, so FIFA Series. So quickly, the FIFA Series, they had their matches announced, and the match schedule is available. 48 national teams representing almost a quarter of FIFA's 211 member associations. And I can't read the damn thing. So FIFA Series 26. So let's see if we can get something where we can actually read it in a font that is legible to folks who need glasses like me. So the match schedule is now available. Let's see if it's on a larger piece of paper. So the match schedule was released for the FIFA Series 26, March and April, international window. Broadcasting globally, and go to FIFA Plus. Sure. And so the official match schedule has 3, 6, 9 groups. On the men's side, played in a variety of places. You have the Australia group, Australia, Cameroon, China, Curacao, being played in Sydney and Melbourne. Azerbaijan hosts Oman, Sierra Leone, and St. Lucia. St. Lucia to Baku. That's deep. Indonesia gets Bulgaria, the Solomon Islands, and St. Kitts and Nevis, which reminds me, we probably need to catch up with the Solomon Islands going into that activity later next month. Kazakhstan bracket has the Comoros, Kazakhstan, Kuwait, Namibia. New Zealand has Cabo Verde, Chile, Finland, and New Zealand. Puerto Rico group, and this is where we might be making our hay. American Samoa, Guam, Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands. That is Wednesday, March 25th, and the winners on the 28th. Rwanda has 2 brackets in Kigali, Amahoro Stadium and Kigali Pele Stadium. and then you have an Uzbek bracket with Gabon, Trinidad and Tobago, Uzbekistan, and Venezuela. So all of that is between March 25th and March 31st. So that is your FIFA series this season. And the match schedule being what it is. It was a pilot program in 24. Then the release of the match schedule gives full visibility staged in the international window in March and April. Approved by the FIFA Council in December 22, aligned with the strategic objectives for the global game, meaningful international friendly matches between national teams from different feds that wouldn't normally compete against one another, supporting development. So I'll have to keep an eye on this in late March and April. 12 groups, 4 teams each. All of them are international friendlies. And you have the member associations agreeing on varied competition formats, semifinal, final, prearranged. Draw goes straight to shootout, no extra time. Each group, you have a member association emerging as a victor, in quotation marks. FIFA has endorsed this participation-led approach as it enhances the competitive edge, making them more engaging and a valuable sporting opportunity for all teams involved. So we'll be keeping an eye on the teams in the CONCACAF footprint. Obviously, we'll kind of talk about the FIFA series late March, early April, but we'll break it all down for you with the players of interest in this footprint that might be playing in that tournament, like in the one bracket that had the 4 Caribbean teams in it. So we'll probably keep an eye on it there. Okay. We are past 9 o'clock, which means one thing. One thing, well, not one thing only, but nevertheless, it is one thing. We hit 9 o'clock usually. Hour number 2, we go here. I love that. Like I said, I love that horn section. That horn section for me, I dig it. Boy, do I dig it. Horn section, I like horns, as you couldn't tell. So, from what I was told in the Discord, it was one of those weeks. It was one of those weeks, people. And it's always fun to see what happens. So, in picks of the week, last week, Turner beat Jarrett 732 to 730. 2 points. And so now Turner is the winner this week, and 4Card is now first place on the leaderboard. So, looking at the leaderboard, 4Card is now 324 points ahead of Ricky. Will is in second. Hutch is fourth. Ricky's second. Will is third. Hutch is fourth. Bam is fifth. The OG is in sixth, within striking distance of Bam. And Turner is in seventh. Cody, Kefsey, Pars, Ropes, and Jordan. Jordan, who's at a minus 14,048. Probably would be better than me. And that's, and obviously if you do not participate, then you get minused out. If you don't participate, you literally get minused, and it's like minus 100 for each, and then you don't get the bonus points either, or the bonus points opportunity. So 4Card had a 730 last week. Then it was Turner at 732. 732 to 730. So 732 for Turner, 730 for 4Card. Then it was 551 for Kefsey. Kefsey making a charge. Then you had Bam over Will by 2 points. Doesn't help out Doesn't help out Bam in climbing the standings, but it does draw Hutch closer to Will. Hutch had an awful week, minus 398. Wow. So 365, 363, and then a 73 for Ricky on the week, and a 28 for the OG on the week. So because of Ricky's bad week, the no good, very bad week that Ricky had, 4-card widened the lead to 324 points after basically getting 900% more than what Ricky did. So 4-card now in the lead after a horrific week by Ricky, and I know that Ricky is kicking him. So Turner, Turner beats 4-card by 2 points. So that's where we are. So let's go over the results quickly, and then we'll get into this week's picks of the week. So going backward, how many goals did we have in Major League Soccer on the week? So it's like roll down here and go to the bottom. So results. Match week one. Number of goals. 2, 4, 14, 20, 24, 29, 32, 37, 38, 41, 42, 52. So 52 goals. And I had 54. So that was probably as close as I got all week. LAG and NYC was a draw, and I had draw. So that was a 1-1 draw there. Houston and Chicago. Houston got the win 2-1. I picked Chicago. Serie B, and I know I'm probably dragging out the pain for a lot of folks. Serie B last week in the results with Mantova and Sampdoria. Mantova beat Sampdoria 2-1, so I lost that one. The Indonesia Super League, and I'm hoping that we can look at all of these. Okay, so Super League is up. So results from the Super League for the Madura United Arima FC match on Saturday the 21st. That's not nice. Hang on. So standings, wait a minute. So standings, you had Madura United. Am I in the wrong one? Madura United and Arima had a 2-2 draw. So they had a 2-2 draw, so I missed that one. So whoever picked that one up at a plus 224 did really well. All right, so Romanian Super League. The Superliga out of Romania, where we got to learn about FC Botoșani and U Cluj. That was an education. That was a fun education last week. So Botoșani and Cluj, and I had Cluj. Cluj at a plus 195 beat Botoșani by the score of 3-1. So plus 260, plus 202, so plus 462. Plus 162. Okay, so Argentina, the LPF, Defensa y Justicia and Belgrano from last Thursday at 3:15 in the afternoon. So going all the way back. Okay, so Defensa y Justicia and Belgrano had a 1-1 draw. Got that one. So that one is 396 and 260. 396 and 260 is 656. So I'm going to plus 356 right now. Then we went into the Europa League, and it was Ludogorets and Ferencvaros, which was Ludogorets winning. So, of course, I lose that one. And then AFC Champions League 2. I don't know if we're going to be able to get to that one. Asia as a let's see. So if we go Asia, is it going to give me Asia? Yeah. Okay, cool. Asia AFC Champions League 2 results. Okay, so it's the beauty of bookmarks. We started with Al Ahly Doha and Sepahan back on the 15th, or back on Wednesday. Al Ahly Doha Sepahan, a 2-2 draw. And so it was a 2-2 draw in the first leg, a 2-2 draw in the second leg, and Al Ahly Doha and Sepahan had a 2-2 draw. So that's where we are. So AFC Champions League 2 was a draw. Europa League was a Ferencvaros win. DYJ and Belgrano was a draw. Romanian Super League, Cluj with the win. Indonesia Super League, draw with Madura United and Arema FC. Serie B, Montova and Sampdoria, and Montova got the win. Houston and Chicago and MLS. Houston got the win. LAG and NYCFC got the draw. So that's where we are off that week. And me picking all these games, I'm doing great. I'm getting all of these things going. I am doing fan-blankentastic. All right, so now we know that one of the games that we're doing is River and Belgrano. We know that one for Thursday, so we know that one's going to be on the board. That one might end up being matchup number 5. So let's see if we got anything. Okay, so we could go here. We could. Okay, yeah, all right. So let's start here. Let's do this. Okay, so we'll go ahead and kind of do the Bobby Jones approach. When Bobby Jones, legend had it that when Bobby Jones was creating golf courses, his thought was always to welcome the golfer out on the golf course. But by the time the golfer was on the back nine, the golfer basically was like, get me the hell out of here. So I don't know if we're necessarily going to be like that, but we will welcome ourselves out onto the golf course. We're going to welcome ourselves out onto the golf course. So tomorrow, Wrexham and Portsmouth. Wrexham and Portsmouth tomorrow at 2:45. So tomorrow, 2:24, 2:45. Okay, so Wrexham and Portsmouth in the EFL Championship. Wrexham is a plus 110. Draws a plus 229. And Pompey is a plus 270. Just to let you know where things are in the standings. It's chaos. Knowing me, I probably should have picked West Brom and Charlton United or Charlton Athletic. All right, so here's the deal. Wrexham right now, they're in the final playoff spot. They are in the play-in. They are the 4 seed in what would be the promotion playoff. 2 points ahead of Birmingham City. Everyone can laugh at Tom Brady now. Wrexham has lost only once in their last 5. They are 12 draws. Wow. 12 draws. 12 draws in 33 matches. A lot of points were left on the board for them, and you know that Phil Parkinson's losing his mind over it. Wrexham right now, they're the 6. 13, 12, and 8. 51 points. They're at the race course. Pompey, 19th, 39 points. However, Portsmouth has won 2 in a row. Portsmouth has won 2 in a row. And I think that's kind of where we are with this one. That's the why that's attached to all of this is Pompey has won 2 in a row heading into this matchup with Wrexham, who is the 6 right now in the EFL Championship. So that is your rub in this one. Do you go with the hot team, or do you go with the team that is on a roll and have made their way all the way up to 6 in the standings? Yes, however, that's the thing. Right now, that's the key. Do you go with the team that's won 2 in a row, or do you go with Wrexham? And I'm going with Wrexham. Like I said, I think Pompey's distance right now is a bit much. Like I said, they've won 2 in a row, but they did that to get to 39 points. And they beat Millwall and they beat Charlton. Both of those on the road for Portsmouth. So Portsmouth is on the road again. Can they keep up their momentum? That's the key here. They played on the weekend, beat Millwall 3-1 at Millwall. Now they go to Wales to take on Wrexham in 6 versus 19. This is match week 34 for most, match week 33 for some, match week 32 for Ipswich. Ipswich has Watford. So Wrexham, let's see if Wrexham can take care of business in this one. I'm going Wrexham. Fairy tale continues, and we got it going. All right. So that's number 1. Wrexham and Portsmouth tomorrow at 2:45. So everybody get your picks in by 2:30. Now, do we start to have some fun yet? Do we start to have some fun here? Let's see. This is 26. So the 26th is Thursday. So, all right. So Tuesday is the 24th. I got to figure this stuff out. Okay. All right. I know what I want to do on Thursday for one of the matchups. So we probably will have 2 on Thursday, and we'll see what we can do here. All right. So 27th is Friday. Friday. This is what happens when you're trying to pick games on the fly. Sometimes it works, sometimes it rains. Okay, so where have we not been recently? That's what I'm trying to figure out. No, I don't like the margins there. We've been going to Croatia a lot because their schedule is very beneficial to us and our picking prowess here. So 27 is the weekend. That doesn't help. You're not helping me, people. You're not helping me with your scheduling or lack thereof. This is not nice. Saturday, maybe. Let's see. So maybe Saturday with that country that I was just staring at. Okay, so and I am poring over all of these places trying to find some cool matchup that we wouldn't necessarily have known about otherwise. But a lot of folks played Monday Night Football, and they're not playing again till the weekend, or at least they don't have the league activity. Yeah, there's a lot of Monday Night Football. Let's see. No odds there. That's disappointing. Do we have the Indian Super League yet? Are they actually playing yet? Yeah, they are. Okay, so they're finally underway. All the concerns about them, and now they're underway. We were trying to find out what the latest was with this league and see if it was going to actually be up and running at any point at all in the season. And apparently the answer is an emphatic, yeah, sure, we're up and at 'em. Yeah, we're working toward it. Okay. We're gonna do another one for tomorrow. And that's is that 8 o'clock in the morning? No, it's too early. No, because then people are having to get their picks in. No, I can't do that. I was gonna go to North Macedonia, but that doesn't help. Okay. So sorry, I double clutched on North Macedonia. I apologize. Okay, so well, we could go. I need a league that plays like in the middle of the week, and this is not helping much. This is really not helping. You got like Saturday stuff with like odds that are all over the place. It's like this seems like it's the weekend for international competition, which means that the leagues themselves have your blowouts because the teams that are really good are the ones that are like busy. And so it's like, so if you're busy in the midweek, tell you what we're going to do. We're going to make it easy for you when you come back. So you get an easy matchup. And so that's what this is looking like here. This is like this. It's like, okay. Well, we got a contender for Saturday. Okay, so Saturday. Think about going here. All right, so I will write that down, and then obviously Thursday we know that one of the matchups is River and Belgrano. So that one we know. So it's River and Belgrano. That one we know is Thursday. I think I've got one for Saturday. Because we're going to be like, this is going to be like mainstream country week, and this is not going to be nice. This is going to be kind of just like, yeah, we've been there before. Okay, so let's see. That one was postponed. Not necessarily. Oh, frozen pitch, of course. Yeah, who knew that there were frozen pitches in Ukraine? Okay, so let me see here. 2:30s and 2:45s. You're not helping me. I mean, come on now. I mean, it's cool and all, but I need like, I need Airbus to play like in a moment where they actually can get something done. Okay, so looks like we might be going to countries that we've been to before, which is disappointing. Okay. All right, so we might be stuck with wow, they don't have the odds out yet for those? Wow. Oh, there we go. Okay. Took a minute. So he said, let's kind of do this as let's see. So Tuesday is the 24th. So that would mean that Wednesday is the 25th, which would mean that your numbers aren't really changing a whole lot. Okay, so here we go. Number two. Number two is going to be on Wednesday at 3:00 in the afternoon. And for this one, we're going to Argentina. It is Gimnasia hosting Rosario Central. Gimnasia and Rosario Central. So Gimnasia at home is a plus 210. Draws a plus 175. Rosario Central is a plus 179. Although CV and Argentinos Juniors, by the way, has been postponed. So Gimnasia and Rosario Central. The numbers in the standings right now, once again, remember, two groups. So Gimnasia, and this is Gimnasia LP. This is not Gimnasia Mendoza. This is Gimnasia LP. First 6 matches in Group B, they are at 10 points, 3 wins, a draw, 2 losses. And they've hit each column in their last 3. Last time out, they beat the other Gimnasia, Mendoza, by the score of 1-0 on the road. Rosario Central has done the same thing. They've hit each column once in their last 3, but they lost last time out to Talleres 1-0. Rosario Central 2-2-2 after their first 6, 2 points behind Gimnasia LP in Group B, but Gimnasia LP is at home against Rosario Central. And so this, of course, means that Gimnasia is the underdog against Rosario Central. Go figure. And Wednesday, 3:00 in the afternoon. That's the beauty of the LPF, by the way, is that they will play, and they'll play like 3:00, 4:00, 5:30, 7. And what they'll do is they'll get out of the way for the other competitions for the Copas. They'll get out of the way. But Gimnasia right now, plus 210, draws a plus 175. Rosario Central's a plus 179. I'm going Gimnasia. I'm going Gimnasia in this one. So Gimnasia is match number 2, and Wrexham and Portsmouth is match number 1. So that's so those are the first 2 now. And this might, like I said, this week might end up being one of our more mainstream weeks when it comes to what we're staring at. But I will effort to try and find some good stories here. Ooh, that might be one. Okay. I think we got one, and we just bounced into one. Okay, so that's 1:00 in the afternoon. So we'll go to the next one. Okay, so match number 3 is in La Liga 2 in Spain, and it is Friday afternoon at 2:30 our time. Albacete and Almeria. Albacete and Almeria, match number 3, Friday. Friday. See, I can do that too, and I don't get muted. So Albacete and Almeria. Albacete is a plus 147. Draws a plus 250. Almeria is a plus 170. Current standings. Almeria third in the table. They've won 4 in a row. They're on a heater. And so Almeria, after winning at home against Cordoba, third in the table in La Liga 2. They're in the top spot right now in the promotion playoff. 1 point out of automatic promotion. Castellón is at 49 points. Racing Santander is at 50. So it's still a fight. A, to get into the promotion playoff, and B, to get into the automatic promotion spots in La Liga 2. But Almeria's won 4 in a row. And 5-3, 7-4. Oh, wow. So by a margin of 11 goals to 6, they've won their last 4 matches. And Almeria is at Albacete. Albacete is 14th in the table. They've lost 2 of 3. They're at 9-7-11 after match week 27 at 34 points. They're in 14th. So I'm thinking this one might actually be a line mistake. So I'm going to go with Almeria in this one on the road. I'm going with Almeria and their 4-match win streak at Albacete. 14-point difference right now. 14-6-7 against 9-7-11 after match week 27. And so I'm going with Almeria and their 4-match win streak, even though it's on the road. So that's what I'm looking at. So I'm looking at that one as my third matchup. But actually, that'd have to be my fourth matchup because of Thursday being River and Belgrano. Damn it. So I make all this hype about River and Belgrano, and I blow right past it. Idiot. Or Bonfield, sorry. It's River and Bonfield. So Thursday, we're going to have to backtrack because I'm an idiot. So this officially will be number 3, but I suck. So another one from the LPF. We're going to go here twice. And it's more ceremonial than anything else. It is back on Thursday, and I suck. So Thursday, here's your Thursday match, and this will get us through the first half. So Thursday the 26th, River and Bonfield River is a minus 204. And I'll fix this when I post it to the when I post it to the Discord. So it's a 5:30 match. So 5:30 Thursday afternoon. River Plate and Bonfield. River Plate's a minus 204. Bonfield is a plus 700, and your draw's a plus 309. Does River get the Duke in Gajardo's finale? I don't think so. But here's your rundown of River Plate and Bonfield. Standings in the LPF, once again, Group B. So River, we know that they're in bad shape. River is 10th, 7 points, lost 3 in a row, behind Bonfield and Racing Club on goal difference. Bonfield won their last time out. They've lost 3 of 5. They've lost 3 of 4 before winning last time out. So Bonfield shut out Newell's 3-0 at home. But now they go to the Monumental to take on River Plate. The last match for Marcelo Gajardo. Does it happen? It's 8 versus 10 in the table in Group B. So that's that one. So River and Bonfield, second time we've been into Argentina on the show for this week. So right there, it's that gets us into Friday-ish. So we got 4 matches down, 4 to go. And so then let's try and find something for like Friday or something, or Friday or early Saturday. Hang on. So Saturday would be the 28th. Saturday would be the 28th. Let's see. Do we do that one? Yeah, why not? Okay. Okay, so Saturday, the 28th, as a part of everything, bright and early Saturday morning, 8 a.m., Ligue 2. Red Star and Le Mans. We'll find out why they call it Red Star in a bit. So, Red Star, plus 150. Draws a plus 210. Le Mans is a plus 195. So, Red Star and Le Mans. Red Star plus 150 at home against Le Mans, who's a plus 195. Your draw is a plus 210. So Le Mans, and this is 4 versus 5. Ooh, this one's good. We fell into one here. Red Star's lost 2 in a row. So they lost 2 of 3. Red Star has lost 2 of 3. They're at home against Le Mans. Le Mans has drawn 2 of their last 3. And so they're separated by 1 goal in goal difference. They've scored the same number of goals this year. 1 goal in goal difference is the difference between Le Mans and Red Star being 4th and 5th. Right now, Red Star has one less goal in goal difference. Le Mans scored 30, given up 24. Red Star has scored 30, given up 25. 40 points each. So that's matchup number 5. So why is it Red Star FC in France? So how did we come up with Red Star FC? Red Star FC. Shocking no one. L'Étoile Rouge, the Red Star. Le Vert et Blanc, green and whites, or Les Aldoniens, Les Aldoniens, the Aldonians. And the Aldonians, Saint-Ouen-sur-Seine, a commune in the northern suburbs of Paris, 13 miles from the city center. Part of the Saint-Saint-Denis department, Île-de-France region, and of the Métropole de Grand Paris. Commune was called Saint-Ouen until 2018 when they obtained a charter. So Red Star, founded in Paris in 1897. And they were semi-pro for a long time. 4th oldest football club in France after Standard AC, Le Havre, and Girondins de Bordeaux. They were founded in 1897 under the name Red Star Club Français by French football legend Jules Rimet. Later went on to serve as president of both the French Football Federation and FIFA. The original FIFA World Cup trophy was named in his honor. Red Star was one of the founding members of Ligue 1, Spent 19 seasons in the first division, last top-tier stint being in 1974-75. Cup competitions, they won 5 Coupe de France, tied for 5th best. Club is widely recognized for its distinctive social culture. According to the Wikipedias, Red Star supporters strongly identify with their support of left-wing politics, social activism, and a party atmosphere they create at the club's matches. Oh, no. Club was purchased by 777 in May of 22, which saw demonstrations leading to the postponement of a Championnat National match in April of 22. Red Star founded in a Parisian cafe. Derivation of the name is uncertain, possibly taken from the Red Star of Buffalo Bill or possibly in reference to Miss Jenny, a British governess based in Paris, who was adopted as the godmother of the club, who recommended the club be named after the historic shipping line, the Red Star Line. Upon its creation, Rimet installed Jean de Piessac as club president, one of his younger brothers as club secretary, March 12, 1897. Members of the club were required to pay 100 French francs a month to help the club meet the daily quota. Changed their name in 1907 to Red Star Amical Club after merging with Amical. The club departed Meudon to Grenelle in the 15th arrondissement. La 15e. The 15th arrondissement. Let's see. So, divisional movements, name changes, club identity, and supporters. Okay. Let's see here. So, consistently above 3,000 spectators a match, many home games sold out. You're either Red Star fans, Gangrene, Perry Boys, or the Spleef Brothers. Yes, and it is what you think it is, a spleef. The Spleef Brothers. That's an ultras group for Red Star. Rivalries with fellow Parisian derby rivals, US Créteil, and with Paris FC. So, yes, the Spleef Brothers, one of the ultras groups for Paris FC. Who knew? Who knew about that one? Yeah, Spleef Brothers. I feel like Beavis and Butthead all of a sudden. Okay, so sure, why not? Red Star and Le Mans. I'm going draw. Draw to plus 210. As much as I would, as much as I enjoy talking about the Spleef Brothers, not so fast. Okay, so now matchup number 6. For this one, we are going to Slovakia. And I think it's after the start that I thought it was. So where's Slovakia? The Nike Liga on the 28th. Please be later than 8 o'clock in the morning. You are. 9:30. Okay, cool. All right, so Slovakia. Let's see. Which one do we go with here? Let's take. Okay. So 9:30 Saturday morning for matchup number 6. We go to the Nike Liga in Slovakia. And this is where we really find out about clubs. Michalovce and Kosice. Michalovce and Kosice. Michalovce at home is a plus 136. Draws a plus 250. And Losice is a plus 170. So, what is it about this matchup? Let's learn about Michalovce. Michalovce. Let me see if I can spell Michalovce. I have to look at it again. Michalovce. Okay. Michalovce FC. Okay, so Michalovce FC is MFK Zemplin Michalovce, a Slovak professional football team based in, of course, Michalovce. Top tier of the Slovak system, and they've been in there since 2015, 2016. Ooh, this logo is kind of cool. So they are the Zemplinchania, the Zemplicians, or the Jitomodri, the Yellow Blues. And so here, if I can share a screen, is their logo. And we welcome Michelovje to the discussion of Picks of the Week. So where's my sharing? Sharing. Share screen. Okay, here we go. This is from our friends at the Wikipedias. So this is the logo for MFK Zemplin Michelovje. That's like one of those really evil dragon-looking things. So kind of what's the mini series that everybody loved? King of Thrones or whatever it was. That one. That was a very Thronesian dragon. So Michelovje formed in 1912. First match was a 6-0 loss to FK Pozdisovje. Second club, based in Michelovje, called NAC Michelovje in 1914. So they were founded in 1912, renamed, merged twice, 3 times, 4 times, and the last time they were renamed was to the MFK Zemplin Michelovje that they currently are. They won the Slovak National Football League in 1974, won the second division, promoted in 2014-2015 season, made the semifinals of the Slovak Cup once. They were affiliated with AC Milan and FK Sobraneško. Biggest rivals are in Eastern Slovakia. Tatran Prešov, Partizan Bardejov, FK Bodva, FK Humen, and it is TJFK Velike Revišće. So they got a bunch of rivals. Record transfers, they've had 5 north of 200,000 euro. Sponsorships has been Adidas on the front of their kit. Squad currently has a couple of English-born players. They have some Slovaks. They have some Swedes. They have Ukrainians. It's well represented from European squads. They have a Greek forward, Vasilios Theophanopoulos. They have 2 English players, 2 English nationals. Yushi Shimomura from Japan. They have Taerang Park from Korea. They have a Georgian in Tornike Jochenije. And they have 4 players out on loan, 3 of them from Greece. Anton Šoliš is currently the manager. And he's a retired Slovak midfielder. So in the standings, with Michelovje and Losice, we have to learn about Losice, don't we? Okay, so let's see. Losice FC. All right, so let's see if we get shoot. Not what I was looking for, but okay. LDK Losice. Was that the right one? You're not helping. You're not helping me, people. Standings. So Kosice. Yeah, Kosice. That's what I thought. So it's Kosice, not Losice. It's Kosice. So Kosice FC. Okay. All right. So Kosice FC. It's FC Kosice, by the way. They are the Jitomodri, or the VSS. And they were founded in 2018, 7 years ago. Stadium capacity of 12,555, owned by local investors and the Arago Group at 50/50. Peter Chernak is their manager. And last year they were 5th in the Slovak First Football League. So let's see, previous names. So they managed to advance 2023, previous names and logos, affiliate clubs and honors. Okay. Kosice founded in 2018, merged into a new club, FK Kosice Barca. Club follows the first football club from Kosice, Kasai Atletikai Klub from 1903, later known as FC VSS Kosice. From a legal point of view, it is a new club with a clean slate, even though they merged into a club in 2018. So 2018 was their first year, and they have rocketed through the standings as a merged club. They started out as SK Vyzhyny Opatski in 1921. And so FC Kosice merged with FK Kosice Barca 2018. So that's where they are now. So they've had 5 previous names before turning into FC Kosice, affiliated with West Ham and Slavia TU Kosice since 2020. They won the second division. They've won the third division. And in previous iterations from 1903 to 2017, won the Slovak Cup, won the Slovak National Football League, and when they were in Slovakia, instead of Czechoslovakia, when they were in Slovakia, they won the Superliga twice, 5-time winners of the Slovak Cup, 1-time winner of the Slovak Super Cup, and they've won the second division 31 times in their previous iterations. So, in their current nom de plume, they've only been around since 2018. They have a Sierra Leone defender, an Osman Kakai, mostly Slovaks, Hungarian, Spanish defender, Erlands Palacin. They have a Croat midfielder, Karlo Miljanic, Austria, Montenegro. Yeah, they have a Montenegrin forward on loan from Slavia Prague, and a couple players out on loan. So Jan Gajdosic is the caretaker sporting director, and Peter Chernak is the caretaker current head coach. So that's where we are with Kosice. Now, standings. Before we get into the pick, once again, standings. Michalovce is currently 6th, and they do the dreaded split. So Michalovce is in 6th at 29 points, 5 points away from being in the second half, 4 points away from their next spot, but they're 6th. They're right on the bubble, 5 points clear of the second half. Kosice is at 21 points. They've lost 12 of 21, but they've won 4 of their last 5. They had a 4-game win streak to get to this point and a draw last time out. So they were in awful shape. They were at the bottom of the table. 12. They've got 13 points in their last 5 matches. Kosice does. And Kosice, though, is at Michalovce. Michalovce has hit each column once in their last 3 at 29 points. So do you go with the hot team in Kosice, or do you go with the team at home in Michalovce? That's the question. Michalovce favored, plus 136. Kosice at a plus 170, draws a plus 250. I'll go draw because it's a plus 250. So plus 250 there in the Slovakian first division for Saturday. So we've gone Slovakia, second division France, twice in Argentina, second division Spain, and the EFL Championship. So now 2 matches to go, and we're on the weekend. And let's see if we can find something on the weekend to look at here. So the weekend, once again, is the 28th and March 1st. And I'm trying to see if there's anything remotely competitive in odd locations. And I'm trying to see. Come on. How about something here? We haven't been here recently. And that's not going to help me. Well, actually, yeah, it will. All right, so we're going to Portugal. Liga Portugal 2. And it's a later start on Saturday than the Slovakian First Division. So it is a 10:30 start on Saturday. Vizela and Chaves. Vizela and Chaves in Liga Portugal 2. Vizela at home is a plus 140. Chaves is a plus 185. Chaves is a plus 175, draws a plus 185. And standings in Liga Portugal 2. This is also where you have some B-sides playing from the first division who can't get promoted. Sporting's B-side is third. Porto's B-side is sixth, and they're behind Lusitania FC. I don't know about that. On goals scored. Benfica's second team is 10th. And you have some teams that have been in the first division in Portugal that are not faring well in the second division. So Vizela is in eighth. They are at 32 points. They had lost 3 of 4 before winning last time out. 2-1 win at Leixões. Chaves is at 30 points, and they just snapped a 3-game losing streak by beating SC Firenze, who's at the bottom of the table. And so it is 32 points at home against 30 points. Vizela at home against Chaves, 32 points and 30. Each team won last time out. Chaves snapped a 3-game losing streak. Vizela had lost 3 of 4. And so that's where we are with these two. So, okay, so Vizela, we're learning a lot tonight about, folks. Vizela FC in Portugal. FC Vizela, of course. So, needs additional citations for verification. Futebol Clube de Vizela, the nickname, the Vizelenses, played a 6,000-seat stadium in Vizela, Portugal. And brief history. Vizela joined the Braga Football Association on August 1st of 1940. Created January 1st of 1939. 26 years later, their first trophy came, and the conquest of the Taça de Campeão Nacional. And they spent most of their early years in the Campeonato de Portugal. 1984, promoted for the first time in history to the Primeira, lasted 1 season. They were dead last. They got relegated. Shortly after, again on the third level, only returning in the 2000s. Vizela finished third in the 07-08 season, 1 point short of promotion. Following year, they finished 10th, relegated due to the Apito Dourado scandal. For several years, the club acted as SC Braga's farm team. In May of 21, placed second in the Liga Portugal 2 to get promoted to the Primeira for the second time in the club's history since 1985. Now, what is the Apito Dourado scandal? Golden whistle. A sports corruption scandal in Portuguese football that first arose in 2004. Portuguese judicial police investigators named several football personalities as suspects, arguidos, of corrupting or attempting to corrupt referees, including late Jorge Nuno Pinto da Costa, chairman of FC Porto, and the former Boa Vista FC chair and Portuguese League for Professional Football president Valentim Loureiro. Major part of the affair involved lower divisions referees and clubs, naming Sucense and Gondomar. In December of 2006, Pinto da Costa's former partner, Carolina Salgado, published the book Eu Carolina, autobiography, in which she made serious accusations against him. Pinto da Costa called the accusations absurd, said he would address them in court. Salgado's book caused the 2 cases in which Pinto da Costa was involved that had already been dismissed to be reopened. March of 2008. Porto's Tribunal de Instrução Criminal decided one of those cases in a match between Porto and Beira-Mar, where Pinto da Costa delivered an envelope containing €2,500 to a referee would proceed to trial. The other major case, Porto offered prostitutes to the match referees, dismissed for the second time in June 2008, and the main accusation witness, Salgado, had been accused of perjury. So Loureiro in July found guilty of abuse of power, but not guilty of corruption, sentenced to 3 years, 2 months of suspended jail time. May of 2008, disciplinary committee, the DISCO for Portuguese professional football, who'd opened a parallel non-criminal proceeding called the Apito Final, not the golden whistle, but the final whistle, sentenced Pinto da Costa to a 2-year suspension and Porto docked 6 points in the Primeira, fined €150,000 for attempted bribery. Boa Vista, sentenced to relegation for bribery and referee coercion, fined €180,000. União de Leiria lost 3 points, and its chair, João Bartolomeu, was sentenced to a 1-year suspension. Porto recovered those points in July of 2017. And in January January and October 2010, many of the Apito Dorado wiretaps were uploaded to YouTube. There's this whole thing in here about the Apito Dorado scandal, and it's entirely too long to look at. But that's required reading for our friends at the Vizela, FC Vizela, and the Apito Dorado scandal. You got to look at that. And so then you go to Chavez, FC Chavez. So we'll go FC Chavez, by the way. We'll do that. So, or GD Chavez, Grupo Deportivo de Chavez. The Flavienses, the Valentes, or the Transmontaños. Founded in September of 1949, 76 years ago. Red and blue striped shirt with blue shorts and socks. Current president Bruno Carvalho. Manager is Moreno. One name. Competed in the Portuguese First Division 18 times. Best finish of 5th in 89-90. Went to Europe in 87-88. Played in the UEFA Cup. One of the most experienced teams in the Portuguese second division. And especially when they get into UEFA tournaments, and they play very well. In September 25, GD Chavez was purchased by Mexican company GLS Promotoria del Deporte, owned by tequila entrepreneur Arturo Lomeli. Company also owns Atlético La Paz in Liga de Expansión, MX. After the purchase, Francisco Jose Carvalho stepped down, which was then taken over by Mexican lawyer Dante Elizalde, who was previously provided over Santos Laguna in Liga MX. They have a Cape Verdean keeper, Vojinha, mostly Spanish and Portuguese players. They do have a Costa Rican midfielder, a Serbian forward, a couple of Brazilian forwards and midfielders. They have a handful of Brazilians, actually. They have 4 Brazilians, an Angolan midfielder, a Malian defender, a Danish forward, Robin Esajas, a couple of Serbs, a Maltan defender, Zach Muscat, and they have a handful of players out on loan. So with this matchup, they're right next to each other in the table. They've had similar form, and it is 8 versus 11 in the table, separated by 2 points. And Vizela is favored at home over Chavez. And I'm not buying it. I'm going draw here too. And now our last one for Sunday. And then we have to come up with a tiebreaker question. So for this one, is Sunday March 1st? Is Sunday really March 1st? Wow, that's crazy. Hang on. March 1st, literally? Where's my calendar? Do I have my book up here? No, I don't. Nuts. Hang on. So I need I need a calendar. I just need a calendar. I need to see the 26 calendar. Oh, I just want to see it. Okay, so March 1st is Sunday. Okay. All right, so Sunday is March 1st. And so since it is on Sunday, what we will do, let's do this one. Okay. All right, so Sunday, 7 o'clock. Sunday at 7 o'clock, March 1st. The Florida Turnpike Derby. We're doing it. Purple team, Messi and friends. Purple team and Messi and friends. Purple team, minus 179. Draws a plus 280. Messi and friends are plus 133. Purple team, once again, plus 179. Messi and friends, we know what happened last time out. They got thumped in Los Angeles at the Mausoleum. And so Orlando loses to Red Bulls 2-1. Michael Bradley played the kids, and Orlando got thumped. They lose 2-1 to the Kids. Julian Hall, Player of the Week, Major League Soccer. And then Messi and friends, they get the loss in Los Angeles, and they're coming back. And they are favored in Orlando, and that's where I'm going to go. So I'm going to go with Messi and friends here over the purple team. So now the tiebreaker, and we'll go over all the matchups one more time before we get out of here. Once again, tomorrow morning, Kaylor Hodges, the USL show, and it is also Casey White is going to join us at 10 o'clock. We're going to start talking about Chicago and Houston and Major League Soccer and all the things. And Gabe Schrei should be joining us also in the final half hour to talk about Tormenta USL League One in depth. Just a handful of minutes with Gabe. So Kaylor Hodges on USL Championship, Gabe Schrei USL League One, KCD on Major League Soccer, and we're going to look at the rest of what happened last week in Major League Soccer. Get you ready for the rest of the week at 6 and 8 tomorrow night, Northgate and Stars Mill from Stars Mill. Can't wait to be there for the first time this year, so that one's going to be fun, and that will keep everything rolling here. So, all right, now we need a tiebreaker question. So, in the okay, so hang on. Let me see what the matches are here. Okay. All right, let's do another goals. Let's do another goals one. And it'll be goal scored Premier League this week. So that means Wolves Villa, Bournemouth Sunderland, Burnley Brentford, Liverpool West Ham, Newcastle Everton, Leeds Manchester City, Brighton Forest, Fulham Spurs, Manchester United Palace, Arsenal Chelsea. Those 10 matches, number of goals scored. So if we go 5, 7, 10, 13, 18, 20, 2, 5, 30. So I'm going 30 goals scored in the Premier League this week. All right. Once again, before we get out of here, we'll recap picks of the week. And it was a great education, as always it is. It's always a great education. And like I said, we'll be letting you roll through everything. Just a quick reminder, Jarrett's sick as a dog, and Jason is busier than you know what. So when we can grab onto Jason, and then we can catch up with him, and he will let us know when his world calms down and his orbit gets to a normal speed. And it's more 33 and a third RPM instead of 78, which is where it is right now. Okay, once again, picks of the week. Wrexham Portsmouth, tomorrow, 2:45. That's the one that's important. I picked Wrexham. Wednesday, 3 o'clock, first time in Argentina for the week, Gimnasia and Rosario Central. And it's Gimnasia LP. It is not Gimnasia, the other one. And I picked Gimnasia. Thursday, it is back-to-back River Plate and Bonfield. Is River Plate going to give Gajardo the win in his last match before he leaves the club? I don't think so. It's going to be a draw. Too much emotion. 4, La Liga 2, Albacete Almeria on Friday at 2:30. I picked Almeria. Saturday morning early, 8 o'clock, Ligue 2, Red Star and Le Mans. Picked Le Mans. I picked draw. Later in the morning on Slovakia First League, Michalovce and Losice. Picked draw. La Liga Portugal 2, Vizela and Chaves. I picked draw. Saturday morning at 10:30. And then it is Orlando. It's the purple team and Messi and friends for match number 8. Messi and friends are favored. We still don't know anything about any kind of a punishment down from the league for trying to chase after the officials at the Mausoleum yet. And then your tiebreaker is goal scored Premier League this weekend, and that is Friday night, Saturday, Sunday. My number was 30. So that's the rundown for picks of the week. So pick away. I will put these in the Discord, and it's uh, always pick a prime number. Doesn't do any good. So there's that. Maybe in 27. Yeah, I can be about right. Look, OG, you're probably better at this than I am. So we'll definitely keep an eye on things. Okay, so those are your 8. That's your tiebreaker. And once again, I will put this in the Discord, but you got to have your first pick in by 2:45 tomorrow because it's Wrexham and Portsmouth. Rest of the week's pretty easy when it comes to timing and things. And big shakeup in the 1 and the 2 in the Discord for picks of the week, and just Ricky getting 90% less than the winner of the week, and now is in second. Okay, once again, tomorrow 9:05, we start everything up. We're going to hear from Gabe Schrei about Tormenta from a USL League One perspective. We're going to hear from Kaylor Hodges, get the update on everything USL Championship with a little bit about Tormenta. We're going to hear from Casey White at 10 o'clock, and we're going to find out what's on her mind from Chicago and Houston and go through the rest of the week from Major League Soccer, all the news of the morning, anything else that's happened. We'll go through it coming up at 9:05. And once again, tomorrow night, Northgate Stars Mill on the network, 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock, down at Stars Mill will be our first trip there. And we can't wait to go and see everybody down there at Stars Mill. Wednesday, Max Anderson, play-by-play voice for the Fire, is going to join us. Hopefully, Dylan Butler can join us at 10 o'clock. And Red Clay at noon. We are working on a Wintersville Classic special to break everything down there on Wednesday at noon. Lowndes and Valdosta are playing tomorrow, boys and girls. So Wintersville Football Classic is tomorrow. So we're going to try and catch up with all 4 coaches Wednesday to break down Wintersville Classic and the growth of their programs here in 2026. Thursday, Nino and Nico in the Power Hour, and that is at 10 and 10:30. Friday on SDHAM, our friends from Beyond Goals. MLS Voice of the Week at 10 o'clock. Ryan Feigert, play-by-play voice of FC Dallas, joining us at 10:30. And West Forsyth and Lambert on Friday night on the network with me and Maddie. And then Saturday, Maddie and I will be at Colony Square for 92.9 The Games presentation of Atlanta United and San Jose Earthquakes. And we will be there. Pregame is at 6:30. Kickoff at 7:40. And Maddie and I will have the full-time report after that. Yes. And that's one of the reasons. Oh, Hutch. Good evening, Hutch. Nicely done with your work in the week. And OG, that's why I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to see what Wintersville Football Classic is like and how those 2 programs are growing in South Georgia. We caught up with Cody Case before, but I wanted to get both the women's and the men's and women's coaches, boys and girls coaches from both of those schools. And the fact that Wintersville Classic is tomorrow gives me an excuse to do it for Red Clay Wednesday across the network. So that's my excuse, and that's what I'm sticking with it. We're getting our schedule pretty much figured out so far. Jefferson and Johnson, Gainesville, March the 3rd. Utopian Academy Social Circle on the 5th. Walnut Grove and Eastside on the 6th. And Dalton and the Baylor School is on the 11th. Calhoun and Gilmer is on the 13th. Georgia Military, Lake Oconee Academy is on the 17th. We are efforting a game on the 10th of March. And if that one is in the barn, that gets us to March the 19th. And then we've got an idea as to what we want to do through the end of March and getting you into April. We are doing Westminster, Johnson, Gainesville boys April the 7th. And then that gets us through the tail end of the regular season that could be ending with River Ridge and Johns Creek on April 14th. Wow. Okay. All right. So we got about 6 weeks left in the regular season for high school soccer, and the sprint continues for us there. Back at it again, 9:05 in the morning. Thanks to all of you folks for hanging out with me as we go through everything, and just hope that Jarrett gets better. And so he's not feeling a case of just the bleh. And so hopefully he'll be back with us again next week. Thanks to all of y'all for being a part of everything and doing what you're doing. Back at it again in a little under 11 hours. So SDHAM, 9:05 Eastern time on all the social medias, and we'll be back with you again tomorrow. So we end. Mucha platiel, play it safe, and I put the board up.